My aviation career started when I was very young in grade school. World War II was going on, and I heard stories about fighters and fighter airplanes, pilots, and my dream was to become a fighter pilot, and that was the seed of my aviation career.
And you had to overcome some obstacles in order to become a fighter pilot. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, everybody that becomes a fighter pilot has to go through a lot of tests. One of the most severe ones was getting into the program in the first place. I took ROTC at the University of Illinois and was accepted into the pilot program in the Air Force after my 4 years at the University of Illinois.
And how long did you work for commercial airlines?
I worked for American for just about 30 years.
And what's the longest time you spent in an airplane flying?
The longest time I spent in a fighter was 10 and a half hours flying from California to Spain nonstop with many air-to-air refuelings. The longest time I've ever spent is in an airliner was a DC-10 flying from Frankfurt, Germany to Dallas, Texas with a big headwind, and it took us 14 and a half hours.
Okay. And tell me what fighter jets that you flew?
The fighter jets I flew were the F-100. I flew that in Europe for 3 years, and then I was transferred back to the United States. I then flew the F-104 Starfighter for about 4 years. I accumulated about 1,000 hours in that airplane, which included a tour flying in combat in North Vietnam.
What is the scariest experience that you had, either if it was on a commercial airline or a fighter?
Well, after a while you get kind of used to rather risky or scary situations, and I've had so many of them I can't pick one out, but basically I've never had to bail out of a fighter, and I never had an accident in a commercial airliner. I probably came close to getting in big trouble in fighters about once a week, but the airlines are extremely safe, and it actually gets to be a little boring after a while.
And do you ever fly airplanes anymore?
No, I had a Cessna 182 with a couple friends when I lived up in the Chicago area. When I came down here, I decided to give up flying, and I bought a couple motorcycles, so now I ride motorcycles.
Okay. Do you miss flying at all?
I really don't miss it too much. I've got 23,000 hours of flying time, and that was about enough.
And what did you like about flying?
I just loved the freedom of flying. Flying fighters was unbelievably exciting. I was in on many things that really kept your attention, such as the Cuban Missile Crisis, all kinds of problems around the world that I participated in.
And is there a worst part about flying?
I've had some, of course, with 23,000 hours of flying time, I've had several close adventures, you might say, but overall, it was all great. There was no worst part to it. I loved it all.
Okay. And what would you say to people, to younger folks that are looking to a career in aviation?
Aviation, to give advice to the younger generation, I would hesitate to recommend an aviation career to them, except maybe in the military to get to fly their equipment, because the airline industry has totally changed. People are getting laid off, their pensions are being cut, their salaries are being cut, and the price of fuel has driven the airlines into an area where they've never been before, and their survival is in question right now. So to have a successful career in the airline will be possible, but the restrictions are going to be a lot more severe. They're not going to be hiring as many pilots as they did back in my day.